Good morning students. Welcome to online teaching session of Academic World School Bemitra. As usual I am here to teach the chapter of class 9 geography. The name of the chapter is India, size and location. And yesterday I had told you about lot of things about India, size and location. Basically I had focused on longitude and latitude. And yesterday I had revealed the significance of latitude and longitude in terms of India, in the context of India. I had told you about the significance of latitude and longitude, and many points I had discussed. Now today I am going to discuss about overall significance of latitude and longitude. In shortcut I would like to say that with the help of latitude and longitude we can find out the location of a place. You must have seen in your surrounding when you call Uber or Ola, instantly they respond to you and they reach to the exact location. They reach out to the exact location. How it becomes possible for them to reach out to the exact location? They exactly reach where you are standing, just on the basis of latitudinal and longitudinal extent. Anywhere you may be standing, there is a point of intersection of latitude and longitude. And this Uber and Ola, what they do, they see in their GPS system. GPS stands for Global Positioning System. In the GPS system they see the latitudinal and longitudinal intersecting point. And with the help of that intersecting point exactly they reach out to your place. In this way, latitudinal and longitudinal extent helps the people to find out the exact location. Okay, so in shortcut, once again I would like to say that the significance, the most significance, I mean to say the most significant role of latitudes and longitudes are to find out the exact location of the place. Okay. Next, latitudes and longitudes determine the climate of a place also. Yesterday I told you about that our earth has been classified into number of climatic zones on the basis of what? On the basis of latitudinal and longitudinal extent. Okay. Latitudinal and longitudinal extent determine the duration of day and night as well. Understood? So these are the significant points of the significance of latitude and longitude. Today I would like to tell that on the globe how many latitudes do we see generally? Total number of latitude. Total number of latitudes. It is 180. How many latitudes are there? Total 180. You must have seen that there is equator, and above equator 90 latitudes are there, and below the equator 90 latitudes are there. So overall the sum total is 180 latitudes. Okay. Next, how many longitudes are there? Total number of longitudes. Total number of longitudes. You must write it down. 360. Yesterday I told you about prime meridian. Prime meridian is located at 0 degree, and eastward this prime meridian you will find 180 longitudes, and westward of prime meridian you will find 180 longitudes. So 180 plus 180, how much you are getting? 360 longitudes. So total number of longitudes is 360. Next I am going to discuss about area of India. What is the area of India? Area of India. It is 3.28 million square kilometer. So whenever you will be asked about the area of India, you have to mention this figure, 3.28 million square kilometer. This is the overall area of India. Okay, and India occupies 2.4% of the total land area of the world. What am I saying? Once again I am repeating, India occupies 2.4% of the total land area of the world. This is also significant point and it must be noted by you. Next, I am going to tell about the length of the border of India. Length of the border of India. What is the length of the border of India? When we talk about the border of India, it covers all from here to here, and even the islands of India are included. Once again I am repeating, when we talk about the border of India, it doesn't remain confined with the border of the mainland, it includes the border of the two islands of India. So it is 15,200 kilometer. So what is the length of the border of India? 15,200 kilometer, including the coastline and the coastline of Andaman and Nicobar Island and Lakshadweep Island. Once again I am repeating, the border of main India and the border of the Andaman and Nicobar Island and the border of Lakshadweep Island. Total they do have how much length? 15,200 kilometer. So whenever you will be asked about the length of the border of India, you have to mention 15,200 kilometer. This. Okay, so this is the total border. Okay, next we are going to discuss about the length of the coastline. What is the length of the coastline of India? Total length of the coastline of India, it is 7,516.6 kilometer. 7,516.6 kilometer. So when we talk about the length of the coastline, it means from here to here, and even this one is included and this one is also included. So I am not including the land border, I am including only the border adjacent to ocean, the border that adjoins the ocean. Okay, so from here to here and this one together constitute 7,516.6 kilometer. So whenever you will be asked about the length of the coastline, you have to mention what? 7,516.6 kilometer, and don't get confused with the figure of 15,200 kilometer. It is greater than this one, and when we talk about 15,200 kilometer, it means the length of the border of whole India. And when we talk about 7,516.6 kilometer, it talks about only the length of the coastline, including the coastline of Andaman and Nicobar Island and Lakshadweep. Next, we are going to read about the number of India, the position of India among the largest countries of the world. You know, Russia is the first largest country. It is the largest country in the world, and India occupies the 7th position in terms of largest countries among the world. So one trick I am going to mention here, and just applying this trick instantly you will be able to remember the names of the country in terms of area instantly. Very quickly, very easily you will be able to learn the names of the country serially with one trick. I am going to mention that trick. Rukukbai. It is a trick, and through this trick you can easily learn the names of the country in terms of areas among the world. Russia. R stands for Russia. C stands for Canada. U stands for USA. C stands for China. B stands for Brazil. A stands for Australia, and I stands for India. So what is the number of India? Let us count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So automatically we come to know that India is the 7th largest country. So first largest country is Russia, the second largest country is Canada, the third largest country is USA, the fourth largest country is China, fifth largest country is Brazil, and sixth largest country is Australia, and the last one is India. India occupies 7th position in terms of area in the world. Okay, so it is a very good trick, and through this trick you can remember all the names of these countries serially. Next, I am going to discuss about mainland and Indian Union. Mainland and Indian Union. Whenever we talk about the mainland of India, it refers to only this much. This one. We do not include Andaman and Nicobar Island and Lakshadweep. Andaman and Nicobar Island is here and Lakshadweep is here. Excluding Andaman and Nicobar Island and Lakshadweep, we consider this area as the mainland of India. Okay, so it is mainland of India. Next, when we talk about Indian Union, it includes mainland of India and then Andaman and Nicobar Island and Lakshadweep. So mainland of India and Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep together constitute Indian Union. So there is a difference between mainland of India and Indian Union. When we talk about Indian Union, it means mainland of India, Andaman and Nicobar Island and Lakshadweep. And when we talk about mainland of India, it means only the mainland, excluding Andaman and Nicobar Island and Lakshadweep. Next, I am going to discuss about states and union territories. How many states are there and how many union territories are there in India? Okay, so earlier we used to read that India is having 29 states and 7 union territories. But the scenario has changed. You know, recently the article number 370 of our constitution has been removed, and because of this, the earlier states have been reduced and some union territories have been added. So now we do have 28 states and 9 union territories. Just now I told you that earlier we were having 29 states and 7 union territories. Once again, 29 states and 7 union territories. Now we do have 28 states and 9 union territories. How? After the removal of article number 370, Jammu and Kashmir was divided into union territories. One is Ladakh and another one is Jammu and Kashmir. Once again I am repeating. One is Ladakh and another one is Jammu and Kashmir, and these are not states, these are union territories. So earlier we were having 7 union territories. So these 2 new union territories have been added to them, and now we do have 7 plus 2, 9 union territories. And 1 state has been reduced, so we do have 28 states. So I hope that you would remember all these things. Next, I am going to discuss about the advantages of the central location of India. Central location of India. You can see this is East Asia and this is West Asia. This one, this side. East Asia, West Asia. Okay, then here Middle East countries are there. Middle East Asian countries are there. Here Europe is there. Okay, so if you see India, very sharply you will find that India is centrally located. India is centrally located. East Asia, West Asia, between East and West Asia, India is located. So this is the central location of India. Now, what has been the advantages of central location of India? You can see there is a long coastline here. This is a long coastline, including the coastline of Andaman and Nicobar Island and coastline of Lakshadweep. Okay, and because of this coastline, India is connected with all the countries of the world. From this coastline, I am talking about western coastal area. From the western coastal area, from here, you can go to Middle East Asian countries easily. You can go to Europe, then you can go to Africa, then you can go to North America, you can go to South America. And from eastern coastal areas, you can go to Southeast Asian countries, you can go to East Asian countries, and then you can visit Australia as well. So see what is the significance of the central location of India. Once again I am repeating. Because of central location of India, India is having contact with all the countries of the world. And basically because of the coastline, long coastline, it does establish India's contact with almost all the countries of the world. From western coastal line, you can visit Middle East Asian countries, Middle East Asian countries, West Asian countries, then Europe, Africa, South America, North America. So all these continents, countries can easily be visited by you from this coastline. This is western coastline. And this is eastern coastline, and from here you can visit Eastern Asia, then Southeast Asian countries, then Australia as well. Okay, so that's why the ocean in front of peninsular India has got its name Indian Ocean. You must be thinking, you must be recalling that why an ocean has got name after the name of India. Why not Australian Ocean or African Ocean or Arabian Ocean? Oh, actually, Arabian Sea is there. Okay, so Indian Ocean could have been named as Australian Ocean. Indian Ocean could have been named as African Ocean. But the case is not so. Only because India occupies eminent position in the Indian Ocean. Okay, in the Indian Ocean, it occupies significant position. And because of having long coastline, it does have the contact with almost all the countries of the world. And this is why the ocean in front of here, this is peninsular India, and just below peninsular India you will find Indian Ocean here. And this Indian Ocean has been named as Indian Ocean after the name of India, because India is having eminent position, prominent position, significant position on the Indian Ocean. Okay, so suppose if the question comes up, justify the naming of Indian Ocean. Again, you will mention all these reasons. India is having long coastline, and because of it long coastline, India occupies eminent position on the Indian Ocean. India comes in contact with all the countries of the world very easily because of its long coastline. Okay, so that's why the ocean in front of the peninsular India has been named as Indian Ocean. Okay, next, significance of Suez Canal. You must have heard about Suez Canal. Suez Canal. Okay. This Suez Canal was set up in 1869. Means it was inaugurated in 1869. And where was it constructed? It is artificially, it is man-made, and it was constructed in its construction was completed in 1869. So it was inaugurated in 1869. From this year it was started. And what is the location of Suez Canal? This is the point of location of Suez Canal. In fact, Suez Canal connects India with Africa and Europe. This is Arabian Sea, you know, Arabian Sea, and this is Red Sea. Okay, and this is Mediterranean Sea. This is Mediterranean Sea. This one is Red Sea. I have already written here, and Arabian Sea. Okay, so earlier when Suez Canal was not there, then it was very difficult to travel from the west coast of India. If anyone wanted to visit South America or North America, then he had to cover very long distance. He had to come in this way. Okay, and you can see how long it is. So one had to cover very long distance if he or she wanted to visit South America or North America. And in 1869, what happened when this Suez Canal was opened here? Now one found it very easy to visit Europe or Africa. By covering few kilometers, one could visit Europe and Africa very easily. In fact, Suez Canal reduced the distance between India and Europe by 7,000 kilometers. Suez Canal reduced the distance between India and Europe by 7,000 kilometers. Easily one can visit here. Just taking this way from the western coastal area, one can visit Red Sea, and from Red Sea to Mediterranean Sea, and in this way one can visit Europe or Africa. So now it has become very easy to visit Europe and Africa, covering the shortest distance. It is a shortcut, and one can easily visit Europe and Africa. Earlier one had to cover long distance, and even if you want to visit North America and South America, you can visit here covering this distance. You will have from western coastal line of India, you will visit Red Sea to Mediterranean Sea, and from Mediterranean Sea to North America, from Mediterranean Sea to South America. So you can see how short it is. Very easily covering the short distance, you can come here. So this is the significance of Suez Canal. It has reduced the distance between India and Europe by 7,000 kilometers. Okay. Next, I am going to discuss about India's contact with the world. India's contact with the world. India has been in contact with the world since past. Don't think that India has come into contact with the countries of the world recently. Since past, I am talking about what? Ancient India, not medieval India. Since that time, India has been in contact with the other countries of the world. Okay. Actually, in the past, what used to happen? There was land route. That time, the sea route had not been discovered. You know that sea route had been discovered by Vasco da Gama. Sea route to India. I am talking about sea route to India. It had been discovered by Vasco da Gama. So before the discovery of sea route to India, the Indian people or the foreigners used to come into India from this land route. You know, Himalaya is there, here, and among the Himalayas, land passes are there. mountain passes are there. Once again I am repeating, among the Himalayas mountain passes are there. Okay, and through these passes the foreigners used to come into India, and through these passes Indian traders used to go to foreign countries. So there had been trade relationship between the people of India and the people of China and Middle East Asian countries. Okay, through the land route they could easily go into countries like China, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, and people from China, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and other countries used to come into India through the mountain passes. But after the discovery of sea route to India by Vasco da Gama, it opened up tremendous opportunities for the people of foreign countries and for the people of Indian one. Understood? Once again I am repeating that the discovery of sea route made it very easy for the Indian people to go into the foreign countries very easily, and it also made easy for the foreigners to come into India very easily. Okay, you can see the coastline. How long coastline does India have? And just from the western coastal line and eastern coastal line, Indians could visit any part of the world. Okay, so through these sea routes and land routes, cultural exchanges took place. Several cultural exchanges took place, and goods and services exchange also took place. So our contact was not confined to exchanges of goods and services only. It also gave way to the exchanges of cultural elements. Okay, just now I told that Indian traders used to go, they would go to foreign countries and foreigners used to come into India, and they did have trade relationship, they used to have exchanges of goods and services. But apart from that, cultural exchanges also took place between them. Okay, I am going to give some examples of cultural exchanges. You know that right now, at the present moment, there are countries like Japan, Sri Lanka, and China. Here, Buddhism is one of the major religions. Okay, in fact, we can say that here the dominant religion is Buddhism. And do you know how this religion has taken birth here in China, in Japan, and in Sri Lanka? Actually, this is the religion of India, and this religion took birth in India, and the founder of this religion was Gautam Buddha, and he was a man from India. And he traveled to other parts of the world and preached Buddhism there. China, Japan, and Sri Lanka thus got the opportunity to embrace Buddhism. Okay, so these countries have become Buddhist countries because Indian people went there and they did preach Buddhism there, and ultimately they adopted Buddhism, they embraced Buddhism. Next, one more example I would like to give. You must have heard about Ashoka, the great king Ashoka. He was a son of Bindusara and he belonged to Mauryan dynasty. All of you must have read about Mauryan dynasty, and the son of Chandragupta Maurya was Bindusara, and the son of Bindusara was Ashoka. And after the Kalinga war, he had adopted Buddhism, and he supported the spread of Buddhism wholeheartedly. He appointed many officials and instructed them that go abroad and spread Buddhism, preach the lesson of Buddhism. And he even sent his own son Mahendra and his own daughter Sangamitra. These sons and daughters went to Sri Lanka and preached Buddhism in Sri Lanka. What was the name did I take now? Mahendra and Sangamitra were the sons and daughters of Ashoka, and Mahendra and Sangamitra were sent to Sri Lanka and they preached Buddhism there. One more example I would like to give you from the 1st century AD, and the man was Kanishka. During that time, there was the rule of Kanishka over India, and he was also a huge supporter of Buddhism. In fact, he had adopted Buddhism and he also supported the spread of Buddhism. Okay, so this is the contribution of India. Today you are able to see Buddhism in China, Buddhism in Sri Lanka. Can you know that who is having the greatest contribution to the spread of Buddhism? India. Buddhism has taken birth in India. Okay, and it is all because of contact between India and China, India and Sri Lanka, India and Japan. That's why Buddhism could reach the countries like China, Japan and Sri Lanka. Next, you can see Hindu culture abroad. If you visit European countries or American countries, you will find the essence of our Hindu culture as well. You know that the great epics are Ramayana, Mahabharata, and above all Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. All these books have become popular books in American countries and European countries. Even the European people take interest in these epics. They read all these books wholeheartedly, devotedly. And there are some European people and American people who can be found to be worshipping Lord Krishna. So it is whose impact? It is the impact of India. India was having contact with these countries in the past. That's why our culture could spread over to other countries of the world. Okay. Next, we can we can hear a very melodious music in West Indies. I am talking about the Caribbean islands. Here, the Caribbean islands are located in West Indies. Here one music is very popular and it is called chutney music. And do you know how this music has developed here? It is all because of India's contact with Caribbean islands, West Indies. In the past, people from Bihar went to Caribbean islands, they settled there and they combined their own music with the music of West Indies and thus developed a new kind of music which was called chutney music. So it has happened only because of India's contact with the Caribbean islands. Next, we can see there are many statues of Gautam Buddha in India, and some statues have been built by Gandhara school of art. Again, I shall go back to the period of Kanishka. When Kanishka was ruling over India, one school of art had flourished, and this school of art was Gandhara school of art. And in this Gandhara school of art, the Greek artist would carve the statue of Gautam Buddha. So they carved the statue of Gautam Buddha in the Greek style. So the theme was Indian. Once again I am repeating, whatever the statues they built, it had Indian theme and style was Greek. So many statues of Gautam Buddha from Gandhara school of art can be seen even today, and these statues have the influence of Greece because they had been carved by the Greek artist. So again this proves that India was having contact with Greece in the past. Okay. Next, in India, you can see the marvelous monuments, excellent monuments like Taj Mahal, Qutub Minar, Red Fort, Pearl Mosque. So these are the very good examples of Mughal architectures and architecture of Delhi Sultanate. Do you know they do have the influence of both Indian art and Islamic art. In fact, when you see Taj Mahal sharply, you will be able to find out, you will be able to know that this Taj Mahal has been built in Indo-Islamic style. In Indo-Islamic style. Generally, it is seen in the Mughal architecture and the architecture of Delhi Sultanate. They do have domes. The monuments do have domes. Okay, then one bar is there at the top of the monument. Okay, then you will find inverted lotus. This is called finial. This is dome. This is inverted lotus. Okay, then you will see minaret. Minaret. So these minarets, inverted lotus, dome, finial, then you will see arch gateway like this. Actually it is called pistak. Pistak. Arch gateway. So all these are the styles of Islamic architecture. Once again I am repeating, these are the features of Islamic architecture. Okay, and this proves that India was having contact with the countries like Iran, Iraq, and the architects from that countries were called in India, and they were given the task to construct these monuments. So that's why these monuments carry the influence of Islamic style as well as Indian style. Actually, these artists, when used to come here, they incorporated both the ideas, Islamic ideas as well as Indian ideas. So that's why these monuments do carry both the influence of Islamic style and the influence of Indian style. So from here also we come to know easily that India was having contact with countries like Iran, Iraq, okay, since past. Understood? So all these points prove easily that India was in contact with other countries of the world since the ancient past. One more point I would like to mention, that today we see the numeral systems and decimal systems. Do you know how these decimal systems and numeral systems have spread over all the countries of the world? It is again I would like to say it has taken birth in India. Understood? Once again I am repeating, the decimal system and numeral systems could travel from India to other parts of the world, and they had taken birth in India, and they could spread over to other parts of the countries of the world only because India was having contact with countries like North America, South America, European countries, and thus these ideas could easily travel to these parts of the countries. Okay, so these are the points, and whenever you will be asked about the impact of India's contact with other parts of the world, you have to mention all these points. From different angles, you have to prove that India was having contact with other countries of the world, and this was the result. These were the consequences. So you have to write about all the consequences. Okay, and consequences about what? India's contact with other parts of the world. Okay, next I am going to tell about India's neighbor. Okay, India's neighboring countries are, you know, Pakistan is here, Pakistan, then here Afghanistan is there, then here China is there, okay, here Nepal is there, here Bhutan is there, here Myanmar is there, here Bangladesh is there, okay, and here Maldives is there, okay, and here Sri Lanka is there. Okay, so you must have heard about a particular term which is called subcontinent. What is the meaning of subcontinent? Subcontinent is a large landmass which is a part of Asia. Once again I am repeating, subcontinent is a large landmass which is a part of a bigger continent. Once again I am repeating, subcontinent is a large landmass which is a part of continent. So whenever we talk about Indian subcontinent, it doesn't mean India. Once again I am repeating, whenever we talk about Indian subcontinent, its definition doesn't remain confined to India only. It means India and its neighboring countries together constitute Indian subcontinent, which is a part of Asia. So India, Pakistan, Nepal, China, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Sri Lanka and Maldives together constitute Indian subcontinent. So this is the exact definition of Indian subcontinent. This is the meaning of Indian subcontinent. So whenever the matter of Indian subcontinent will crop up, you easily think that we are talking about the India and its neighboring countries. So once again I am repeating, India and its neighboring countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives, all these countries together constitute Indian subcontinent, which is a part of Asia. Okay, so I do hope that if you are asked regarding the definition of Indian subcontinent, you will be able to define Indian subcontinent very easily. Okay, next thing, you can see here Sri Lanka is there, and India is separated from Sri Lanka through a gap, through a narrow gap which is called Park Strait. This is this gap. This is known as Park Strait. Okay. Next, Gulf of Mannar. This one is Gulf of Mannar. Gulf of Mannar. Okay, so suppose if you are asked to locate Park Strait or Gulf of Mannar on the physical map of India, easily you can locate it. India is separated from Sri Lanka through a narrow gap. This narrow gap is known as Park Strait, and this depression is known as Gulf of Mannar. This one, this side. Okay. Next, Tropic of Cancer. Yesterday I told you that Tropic of Cancer divides India into two halves. So most often the question comes up with the question like Tropic of Cancer passes through which state of India? This kind of question comes up, and this is also a significant question. Name the states through which Tropic of Cancer passes. So what will you say? Tropic of Cancer passes through Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. I am writing here. Tropic of Cancer passes through the following states of India. First is Gujarat, second one is Rajasthan. Serially I am mentioning the name of the states: Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, fourth CG, it stands for Chhattisgarh, in shortcut I have written CG. Fifth Jharkhand, and sixth West Bengal, WB stands for West Bengal. Seventh Tripura, and the last one is Mizoram. So there are total 8 states through which the Tropic of Cancer passes. Okay, Tropic of Cancer passes through the following states of India: Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, CG, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura, Mizoram. All these states have to be remembered by you very carefully, because most often the question comes up from here. Okay, so this is all about the India size and location, and I do hope that you must have understood, and I have tried my best to simplify the concept of India size and location, and assignments regarding all these facts will be uploaded in ERP, and you have to go through the questions and sharply, carefully you have to complete your assignments, and then after completing the assignments you have to take the pic and post it in your ERP, so that I shall be able to evaluate your assignments, mark will be given. It is very important. Evaluation is must, and this whatever mark you will get under the evaluation, that mark will be added to the NBC for PT1. So it is must. Stay safe. Take